Hello and welcome everyone to Eta Carinae. And
Eta Carinae.
right away.
Every week.
Every time. And we welcome you to tonight's wonderful and crazy episode. We hope you guys enjoy.
Travis washing his hands and it killed me.
Nope. Just do whatever. I'm not the DM. Fuck it.
We have our wonderful cast tonight and our wonderful GM. Would you like to take it away?
Yeah. So last time on Eta Carinae,
Yes. Chaos.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Giant head. Okay,
Giant head. The last time that we ended up playing, we ended up, starting. I think that we were coming out from the interaction with Jimmy, correct?
Mm-hmm.
We were still in the midst of the interaction.
Yeah.
We had ended where, once again, he had pulled out that big explosive.
Yeah, his
detonator.
I said. So, you guys had a conversation with Jimmy, and kind of had gotten more information from him about the gang Opal Gree, this kind of like thing that's going on in the background with their group. He told you that he was a part of a resistance group. They had bounties on their heads, and the name that they've taken on is called Bothra. In case anybody forgot or didn't write down, Bothra. They were declared as traitors of your city, and they were either to be apprehended or killed on sight, and they bring in quite a large bounty. In that, you guys have kind of talked to Jimmy, like let you know what was going on. Akai, verifying a lot of this information, was able to show everybody like the things that Jimmy is saying seem to line up, but there is this like large unknown and kind of leap of faith, as he would tell you what he knew and what he had, but not everything. There's a little bit of there's a little bit of untrust on both sides, as he's obviously gone through this with more people than just you guys, and has gotten burned in the past. After you decided that you were going to check out the this kind of gang and what they do, as soon as you guys were kind of walking out, Captain Crone decided to see the surrounding buildings, and after looking into the interior of these buildings, realized that they are in fact not vacant and not abandoned, but have several hundreds of people in them, and every single one seemed to have many in them, as well as one prone that was a school, housing small children, which one of them came up to you in the window, got scared and ran off. At that point, a light drizzle of weird kind of echoing drip drops throughout this throughout the drip, the slums, also known as the drip. These drips occurring in echoous manner from very, very distant areas started to get a little bit more prevalent, louder and louder, as a storm of this acidic rain began to fall. You guys had run and make your way as quickly as possible into a nearby abandoned building to escape from this hazardous rain, and some of you, I think actually most of you, ended up taking a pretty significant amount of damage as you made your way into the interior of this abandoned building. Once inside, looking around, saw that you had this kind of sleeping arrangement off on the side, a big blood pool off next to it as Click decided to continue to go up and start to kind of survey everything up and above to make sure that the place was like free and clear of people. Um, the rest of the group kind of formed together and as Zero and the rest of the party kind of started talking back and forth. The last thing is a message popping up onto Captain.
Zero's coming in, by the way.
Yeah. A message popping up onto the onto everybody's data pad who's inside, but the captain, the camera focused down to the captain's data pad as a clip of yesterday's news. One Matthias Jones saving this young girl, Uncle Roger's daughter. And as Zero stared at this image, this kind of like sight, almost spectral, like seeing through this facade, saw somebody who they recognized.
Hello.
Hello.
I've returned to the group.
This is
All right.
what happens when you're late.
Did I lose? How long did I lose consciousness for?
No time at all. We just had finished our recap. So you all sit in an abandoned building. Rain's still outside. Zero, you're looking at Crone's data pad.
Who is this? Who is this?
Realizing that you know who this person is. You know who this child is. Give me a Arcana, and as well as, and it could be your preference, either a performance or deception to kind of hide what's happening, these initial emotions as like you see this person.
Okay. Hang on, I need to get my sheet up and everything. Because I am...
Well, you were not
Late.
prepared
All
for
good.
class.
All good.
While
I-
they're doing that, Cody, I just wanted to double check if we finished reading the document I sent.
Where did
The
you send
background
it to?
one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, your background.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure because we didn't have confirmation of that before.
Yep.
Okay.
So you said...
So an Arcana, and then either a performance or deception, up to you, to kind of like hide this initial gut check as you are realizing who this person is.
18.
Ooh.
Nice, nice. Okay, so if everybody could just give me a, just like an insight.
Sure.
So 0. As you're looking at this data pad, almost like a flash occurs in front of you. This moment, an illithid like inches away from your face. You stop, blink, look back, and you see a kind of shimmer occurring over this person. It looks like everybody else is looking at it like as if they is just like a person walking across this platform. You see kind of this like shimmer going across them, almost a like dark and like almost like a black glitter kind of forming over them, waving back and forth, kind of obscuring who they are. But in a moment, a small bit, enough of their face revealed to you that you can see who this person really is. It is a child who you knew a wave occurs and almost instantly gone. But you know that this is a child that you know. Crone and Akai. What is Zero's like initial like gut check here as you see one of these kids again?
Oh,
For
goodness.
real,
You got
in
that
real
one.
life. Yeah.
Well, they both got the same number though. 23.
Yeah, it's just the natural one is shining there. Okay.
I'm watching you, fam.
Apparently. There's like a glimmer of shock. Mixed with a sort of like almost remorseful fear. But their eyes definitely hang on to that image for a little too long.
All right, so this is what you both Crone and Akai, you both see that like Zero have the like that emotion and just kind of lingering to this image, whereas everybody else you're just seeing like Zero kind of just like watching the screen, probably thinking like they're not understanding what's happening, so they're more curious than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm half-assed still tinkering with my bag too, so I'm just
Totally.
I'm still chewing on the ration pack that I told Zero not to eat.
Yes.
I'm still kind of chewing on that. I'm just
The sugar packet.
I didn't even get. I'm less than half of what they got. They got 23. I'm at 12. So I'm watching. I'm watching Dax.
So Crone and Akai, what are you guys doing in this moment?
Well, as soon as I notice that, without my face turning, the captain can notice that the glow in my eyes has moved to one side towards him. Like the whole side eye, like what? You saw it. Like, you saw it. I know you did. Doesn't say anything though, just sort of waiting to see what he would like me to do, if anything. And acknowledging that it happened.
So, in what do we have deep? Is that ours?
What?
Zero.
Hmm?
It's deep.
Deep speech.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the one that we settle on.
I think so.
I
I
think it
was just making sure.
Undercommon, but I don't know.
I like deep. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
It's the much more fun one for right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks. You wanna do that? Hey, you want to do that some more for me?
Nope. That's all you get.
After.
That's all I know. I just have to. All I know is how to say, "Do you know where the bathroom is?"
That's fair.
That's all I
It's one of
learned.
the best ones to know in
Yeah.
any language.
Yeah. So that's all I learned.
They were once missing, but they have been discovered. Did you know them?
Children?
Many.
Trying to speak common here.
Trying to speak common?
Yeah. Because
Give me a history.
they mentioned explicitly, like, not long ago, word for children.
Yeah. Yeah, give me history disadvantage.
Okay. Disadvantage.
Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna be bad, isn't it?
Oof.
Okay.
You're-
Yeah.
Like you've spent, almost a full, like, probably 18 or 16 hours with these people. They are constantly speaking common around you.
Okay.
You are, like, fairly quick-witted. You can start to kind of pick up on these concepts as they're speaking, but you know the word for children.
So in common, yes, children.
I'll reply in your head. Maybe.
You
They're
see,
clouded.
you see him kind of flinch for just a moment as you enter the head, still not quite used to it yet. What do you know? And I'll say that back in deep as just the easiest to translate.
They're clouded.
Your memory is all clouded. Shame.
No, the child, that child.
The child is clouded? How so? Please, I understand this might be difficult, but the more you can describe, the better I can deduce.
Some sort of magic-y, dark, sparkly sort of. It makes it all hazy.
Crone, where is your data pad right now? Are you actively showing Zero, like, the data pad as you're saying this?
I would be at this point, yes.
A The child has, like, walked across the stage at this point, facing the screen. You see Matthias pick them up, and in this very, like, odd way, you can see he almost looks like he's struggling to, like, pick them up. And Matthias is not a small or weak person, but this is a small child. Without, like, really, like, seeing what's here, you wouldn't even be able to notice it. And Zero, that's when you see who this child actually is. It's your second brother. And in a flash, you see the face, and then it immediately disappears in this black haze, eventually morphing down, and you can then see this kind of small, like, blonde-haired girl, very short hair, very small, nothing like second brother. And you can see Matthias kind of struggling as he's, like, picking up this small kid, and then immediately sets her back down.
That's what.
That's not who the child is.
And how do you see that?
There's. Can't you see?
I see a moving picture. What do you see in it that tells you different?
Looks wrong.
Crone, give me an Arcana.
Sorry, just to be clear, this is telepathic, right? Nobody else can hear this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all telepathic.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure. Thank you.
Crone, as you're staring at the image and hearing Zero's words in your head, you're staring intently and deeply. You begin to see almost these kind of like glitches occur to the screen. Almost like a sensor, like censoring out the face, never revealing it, but censoring it out across the body. And what you see is it doesn't go just for like Uncle Roger's daughter's face, but past her body and then down to the floor where Matthias Jones's feet are. And then as walking back across the stage, Matthias still stands there, in a salute, trying to be as proud, showing pride essentially for what he's done. But walking across the screen, you can see the little girl's image stop, and then above it now a like glitching out image across the top walking their way across.
Is that the... What is it that you see, Zero? You know that it's not it. I can tell you a great many things in this image. The distortions, the differences. But you knew this wasn't right before any of that. Either you have a better deduction than I, or you have something more. You saw cloudiness. Is the distortion the cloudiness?
Is it?
The best that you can say is more than likely, because as you're kind of looking at it, you're seeing the same thing, but just at like a deeper level. As like what you see is it almost looks like illusion magic, as it's kind of like flowing over this person, but you don't see this like the kid, like the little girl as much, because it's kind of this almost like flowing magic around, and what you see is a very tall, like clouded black glittered figure. What he's explaining is more like glitching, but you putting your fingers up to the screen would very much be able to say like this is exactly where they are. And in that, Crone would also understand like this kind of glitch he's seeing is the exact same size.
He's not that young.
How do you know? What more? You know something more, Zero. Let me help you.
Zero, give me a Constitution or a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw this child into a panic attack.
We must
Every
break
day
him.
trying. Every day.
You gotta have a counter for like how many. Normal.
Normal, yeah. You feel an impact of Crone's words. Let me help you. It impacts you. You think back. You see a priest. Let me help you. Crone's voice changes. Let me help you. And in that, you're being dropped into a dark part of this area. Around you is darkness. Let me help you as you feel your feet pick up off the ground, as you are being dragged over things. Let me help you. You feel the weight impact onto your shoulders as you feel the world. Let me help you. As a blindfold is taken off, you will find your way. You snap back. Crone is in front of you.
No.
No.
And I'll take a step back. Just away a little bit.
Could I give an insight into kind of the...
Yeah, totally. Akai, I would say you
Akai
can.
is- Yeah, because I am also watching this fascinated. Not like just what is happening, because they go from like blah 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 to like nothing to like blah 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 to like nothing.
So mostly they're actually speaking telepathically.
Yeah.
But I 100% would understand you're like sitting there staring back and forth.
I'm like playing tennis with my eyeballs. Just
I
Yeah.
think Crown's usually speaking in deep speech since I don't think he has telepathy.
Yeah, very true. So Crone, what you see is zero fear, maybe?
Yeah. I feel like that's a fair reading of that.
As Zero takes a step back away from you.
Then no, it is.
I'll kind of just give a nod. And smile. Look back at Akai, back to commons.
The footage is doctored.
all right.
And I'm gonna kind of point to the little reference points out to Akai. But kind of, I'm gonna watch it with Akai once or twice to let them try and see where they can go with it.
Yeah.
Essentially,
Like a recording back to back until like they're seeing it. Kai,
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me Arcana. You can have advantage on it.
Okay. Yeah, because I want to download this like video clip, and then what's the word? It's like scratch it back and forth. to see
Scrub.
Yeah.
that word. Yep. Arcana.
Yeah, you're like pouring over it over and over again. We'll give you advantage with your Arcana to be able to like see these things.
Are you gonna go with
In the meantime, while Akai and Crone are doing like going back and doing this.
Oh, there we go. Seven.
So
This is 7.
Click. What are you doing right now? You're overwatching, right?
Yeah, I just try to get to the highest point I can, like on a table, desk, and just basically I'm sitting there kind of I cleared the room, made sure everybody knew exactly what I meant by not going up the stairs.
Definitely, this is where I'm sleeping. Don't sleep here.
Exactly. That's why I laid down all the caltrops. So I'm just kind of new to the group, not sure what's going on, and
Perfect. So
I would just occasionally be actively like checking, listening,
hearing, for sure. Okay, so playing like guard dog essentially on top of this thing, peering around, making sure that everything's good. Dax, what are you doing right now?
I am just finishing up the bag of holding.
Okay, nice. So Dax is like kind of like working away, just like trying to get this like bag done, doing like some like tinkering off on the side. Cut back as Akai, you staring at this. You've played it back multiple times over the course of about 30 minutes, maybe an hour long. You've been playing this back over and over and over. Crone, every time you see the same thing. Now that this like has been revealed to you, you see it every single time, and you're pointing it out. Here it is, right here. Here they are, right there. This one right here. Zero. Every time you're watching, you see the exact same thing. It's the exact same footage. This like glittered smoke thing is like moving in the exact same pattern every time that you see it. The recording doesn't feel as though it is doctored, but instead that was what was recorded. So the glitch that's happening, this kind of like censoring, the sensor is moving in the same fashion every single time. So Akai, after about 30 minutes, an hour long of going back, peering, like going through, like looking at like, the data file and like, how is it being played and how is it being streamed? Where is it being streamed from? And like, how could they potentially doctor this and all of this stuff? You see it. And it's like a light switch kicks on in your brain and you can just now see it.
That took much longer for me to notice that than it should have.
And now it appears like it should be obvious, but all the times before that, it never looked like that.
Yeah, which is worse because when he's like, that's where it is, I'm like isolating that little like clip of it. So I'm looking at this clip over 100 times to see what the heck he's talking about.
Just magnified.
Yeah, I'm like, shh. Okay. So then I'm like, okay. So I see what you see, but the files say that this is what was recorded. So what we're seeing and what's here,
illusion.
Yeah, there's some sort of obfuscation here. That
and then from there, I'm gonna kind of look over at Zero.
They could see it. Interesting.
That is an Oracle child. Just straight up, yep, this is my opinion now. That is the thing.
Kron, you hit in your head now. Where are they taking him?
He was saved. He's to return to the wonderful Uncle Roger.
That's not true.
Of course not. So where will he go?
Not to Uncle Roger's.
And in that moment of this, like, not to Uncle Roger's, the camera kind of peers out, going up and up and up as you see the massive citadel, a glorious reign of Uncle Roger, up all the way to the top floor, as we see a beautiful, massive area, almost devoid of people. As we look in, we can see the floors here made of marbled glass, a glass infused with the essence of gold to give the glass like a rock-like appearance, while still remaining translucent. Our camera flows over as you can see down into the tiers below, several 100,000 feet down, going through You can see spiraled tiers below, varying sizes, almost going around in a circle as you can see tier 2, a larger but down below tier 3, a larger down below tier 4, and almost in the darkness, completely obscured away from vision, the drip. Our camera morphs back down, slowly going around each layer, finally returning back to the drip into our small building inside of an abandoned warehouse, back to zero. You feel something, a tug on your heartstring, a sense of direction. Zero, something brought you here. What are the chances in the universe? A shiver up your spine, goosebumps on your skin. How could this happen? How could you be in the same area as your brother at the same time after being gone for so long? How could this happen? The universe is an infinite expanse. You never assumed that you would ever see anybody who you knew again, and yet he's here. You always thought that you were just getting to the next area, like going and trying to be safe as you could, keeping yourself alive. But every step of the way led you to here with this group to see your brother inside of this citadel.
Character energy.
I think the gods want us here for some reason.
Oh. Why is that?
Because
It's personal.
I recognize things. I feel like he lives at the top, right?
Roger. He does. Is that eventually where we're after? Is that what you see?
We have to get. We have to get him. And he's being taken there, right? That's the plan?
One step at a time. But you're invested. And you're part of my crew. And I don't like a tarnished name. Plus, I don't like people being used as test subjects. That's personal. So, you can fill me in on what needs, when needs. But the sooner the better. The more I know, the more I plan. But a step at a time. As soon as this rain ends, we need to move out.
And I'm gonna call back and just,
Who all is ready to go after the Bothra?
or at
You
least
mean
be
work with
captured
them?
by them.
Opal Green.
Opal Group.
I shrug
Oh,
and
my
like
bad.
raise a hand.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
I'm in.
Good. This place seems to be taking in people it shouldn't be and using them. I think we can correct that in some fashion. Or at least try and get it exposed enough so someone else can. But for now, we need to get out of here, get our ship out of dock. Sounds like we've gotten ripped off a bit. I think we can work out some deals. That shouldn't take too much. Besides, if the other side's interested in helping our search, then we can certainly do that. Akai, try and keep them apprised of our next search area before we get there, and try and ping the signal to wherever we'd be going next. See if you can throw it off from time to time, put it somewhere way off in the distance.
Absolutely. Cody?
Yeah.
I know when they sounded super insistent about where we were headed and what we were doing.
Tito's.
Can you tell me how long it's been since I sent that? Because I have a feeling they're sending people right then. And if I know what time it is, like from when they started sending people to like how far the elevator, like how fast the elevator would get down here, I can maybe start pointing them in different directions.
Yeah, so you know that Tito's is like already has kind of backed off a little bit as you sent them the location of the elevator, as if you guys were like there. They've backed off, so they're assuming that like you're doing work and stuff. You think probably like you have probably 24 hours.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then also while I'm fiddling around, can I do some research on how long this acid rain tends to last, so I know what our ETA is for getting out of here?
Yeah,
And
give
back
me
to the ship.
a general investigation.
That's, I assume, normal.
Yeah.
Investigation.
All right. So, yeah, as you're kind of like combing the web, you are Citadel has its own kind of like forum post, and it has like its own like centralized internet where like people go on and like host servers and all the same stuff that like the world does, just at like the Citadel level. A lot of it is, you are monetized, and so like, there's a lot of like ads that run constantly, but you eventually find this like this post, from this like very like deep dark like forum blog from like some website that's not even supposed to be up, and
We're on the onion.
yeah, it talks all about like the drip, and like basically it's like some person ended up putting their kind of like like short story out there, and as far as you can tell, they're being honest. But basically, it just says that people live here. We're not extinct. The drip is not a good place, and like I've seen a lot of horrible things, but in a place in which you can have no home at all, the drip is better than nothing. And uh, the acid rains that fall from above occur because of a lack of planning from Uncle Roger, as a multitude of sewage, like, battery acid leaks, everything that would be drained away inside of like a sewer system falls to the drip. Affectionately named the drip, as a drip can always be heard. As the pipes begin to get flooded, a large flush of this system occurs once a day, and it lasts for about 2 hours. It occurs over the entire drip, except for the very, very small percentage of the very outside of the drip. It eventually ends up getting flooded through the streets into a center mass, which then gets drained and assuming out to space.
Question: Does that so like what you say? It drains to the center. Is that so? Is it like a big like pool? Excuse me, pool that forms and then gets drained, or is it just goes
exactly.
to the? Okay. Is there?
Yeah.
Is there? I'm assuming there's a local name for that, or is it just it drains?
It doesn't say.
Okay.
You can definitely ask people, though. Somebody will tell you.
Okay. Well, shit. If they're reading it, technically I don't know. Never mind.
So,
I'm taking notes. It's okay, Travis.
Okay.
The last thing, Akai, on this like it's very heartfelt. This person just like, put their story down, and the very last lines of this is, I don't want us to be forgotten. We live here. There are people here. Please don't forget us.
Is there a server name or like a sign at the end, like a by whatever?
For the
Is there like a
person?
name I can attach to this? Yeah.
Yeah, they have a username.
Can we get an IP address off it? Or no?
You get the IP address off the server, but
yeah, that
like
just
the legitimate
be, yeah.
legitimacy of it is, not great. All right, so their username is scored SCOURED 7831.
Okay. Okay. Do they have any other posts? Or just
It looks
that
like
one?
it's just the one, yeah.
And how long ago was it?
This was like 3 years ago, a couple months back.
Okay. So if anybody's paying attention to me while I'm on my data pad, I of course check Tito's, and I'm like, okay, I sort of relax, and then I'm reading through just for some other information, and then I kind of look really sad for a second, and I'm copying and pasting this to like my notes, my digital notes.
Mm-hmm.
And how long has it been since the rain started from now?
About an hour and a half.
Okay. Captain, we got 30 minutes or so. No, I don't know what that is, Travis. Yeah, we got about 30 minutes, Captain, until the rain stops. And it might be important, depending on how long we stay here, that it lasts For what seems about 2 hours, and it's once a day. I don't know if it's the same time every day, but I have a feeling that it might be, just because this seems like something that they do to the people here. So, throwing that out there.
Question. Since they said that out loud, when we when we ran into the building, trying to go off of like, is it regular? When we were like going, we exited one building. We were walking for a bit, then the stuff started falling. When we were walking, do I remember seeing like, were there anybody on the streets? And if they were they all? Did they all seem to be like looking at their watch, like gotta get inside?
So the streets are almost completely void of people,
Mm-hmm.
and you remember, like, even walking like from the elevator, like hours before that, when you were like just walking down the street, going to see like this place, there were nobody on the street. It looks completely abandoned.
Just looking outside, does it does it look? I'm trying to figure out, like, is this normal? Like, do people just hide, or is there something weird?
Yeah, give me an
like,
investigation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to be as specific as I can with
So
what
while
the
Flick
information.
is kind of like skirted off, you can, like, now that you know, you have like a half an hour left essentially of where, like, before this rain is going to come to a halt. And in that time, you can, have a little bit of downtime. You can do like research. You can try to like do other things. So please feel free to like take a little bit of time to think about if there's an action you would like to pursue before the rain stops. Click, as you look outside, you are looking at. You can see that, like, the streets are completely empty. It doesn't appear as though this is a crazy new thing that's occurred, right? So 100%, even if you, with this like chitinous material all over your body, were to be out there, you would die.
Oh yeah,
So,
I did. I failed to save. I took a hit.
So even with your extremely, I would say, superior exterior, you would die, which means that every person who is here more than likely would end up dying if they were out there.
Okay.
If people are alive here, which you know that they are,
they
have to be hiding inside.
Okay. So, based on Midland, so I can safely assume that, based off of what Akai just said, that this is normal. They've basically, the residents here have worked out a system that they know possibly when it's happening, and that's just part of the day for them, that they, at a certain time, everybody just goes inside. And then, but looking at the streets, it's not, or I'm assuming streets, it's not like 24/7 everybody's hiding and everything. It's like at times, can I tell with that roll if it's like they plan for it and then they come out, or is it just always everybody hiding and never on the streets? With the
From
12,
what you have seen going like through the streets and stuff, it does not appear like people go outside. They are packed away, tucked in buildings. Even walking just over to like Jimmy's, like hours prior, nobody was outside. What you hear walking down the street seems like there is a vacancy that leaves a lack of sound, so much so that a drip could be heard from miles away.
Okay. So I went upstairs, just kind of basic looking. I want to actively look for a subterranean, like a basement or something.
Okay, yeah, give me a perception.
Yeah. Okay, perception.
All right. So while Click is like doing, kind of like looking around, trying to like find stuff, is anybody else doing any like investigative work or anything like that? Let's start with Crown.
I'm gonna go ahead and spend this time. I'm gonna first initially try and catch up with Dax, just try and show them the footage, just trying to see if they could find something that might, or create something that might kind of discern some of this stuff, so we can pick it up without needing all the extra. And then after that, I'm gonna be looking into the Opal Gree group, trying to learn as much about them as I can.
Okay, great. Dax, go ahead and give me a Arcana. You can have advantage on it. Akai, are you doing anything in this time where, like, prior to this rain stop?
So I kind of want to do, sort of set up two things at once if possible.
Sure.
I want to set up an auto search and data collection on mentions of the Opal Cree, what they have tendencies for, what they're known to have as far as like weaponry, whatever. If they make any sort of political stances, that sort of thing.
Cool.
And then, so that's just sort of auto data collection, which I can make a roll to set up the beneficial or whatever. And then I kind of want to do an active and much more careful search about more research on the drip.
Okay.
And
so,
the people.
Yeah, give me a. You can do a hack check for your like kind of auto search as you're like building out a program very quickly. So I'm gonna say if you're doing it very quickly, where it is not going to take you, say if it's 15 minutes of the 30 minutes you have remaining, it's gonna be disadvantaged. But if you take like 25 minutes to build this out, then you're gonna be able to do this with regular or like a regular hack check. Depends on how much time you want to be able to put into both, right?
I'd be willing to put in about 20 minutes.
Okay. So we'll do a normal hack check, and then we'll do like 10 minutes of searching on the other one, which is going to give you disadvantage. So we'll do normal, and then like a normal hack, and then we'll do a disadvantage investigation. Okay. So go ahead and roll those. 0. Are you doing anything in this moment as people are kind of like around you doing research and stuff? You're not really understanding what's happening that much, but like that they're doing things, you just don't know why.
Can I just sort of wander around, like, occasionally just staring over people's shoulders at whatever they're doing?
Absolutely.
And trying to like get any idea of what's going on.
Yeah, give me a history
or how
disadvantage.
any of this works.
Yeah, Dax, go ahead and do me a Arcana advantage.
Ooh.
All right, so we'll go ahead and go back to the top, which click. As you're kind of like looking around, trying to find something, like for certain, there's nothing that's subterranean here.
Okay.
It feels like this was an office building that was, laid to waste, that somebody was living in at some point, that, had somehow perished, and now nobody lives here, and you're not really sure why.
Okay.
But there's no subterranean layer here.
Okay, because I'm going to say, based on my, again, Midland rolls, my assumption is, okay, they don't go in the streets. How do they get around? It's thinking either tunnels or, like, how do they get from do they just, I'm trying to figure out how everybody gets around, because it doesn't appear, based on my observations, that they're using, like, the streets to travel. So I'm in a conundrum, and that's what I'm just gonna.
So Click is like locked in thought right now, just trying to figure this out. We shift over to Crone and Dax. As Crone, you're like showing Dax the footage. Dax, you pick up on it like pretty quickly. You're able to like see like, oh, okay, like I see what they're talking about. Go ahead and give me a engineering as well. And Crone, you said that you were going to do more research on Opal Gree, right?
Yes, please.
All right. So, because Dax was able to like pick up on this pretty quickly, I'm going to say you can roll regular investigation. Dax, you think that you might be able to like engineer something to be able to make it so that you guys can kind of see through this illusion as it occurs.
Okay. I'm gonna work on
It's
that.
just it's gonna take time to getting back to the ship, getting your tools, getting the things you actually need to make stuff. But you're pretty confident you're gonna be able to make something.
Okay.
All right, and then Chrome, can you give me a investigation? Akai, as you build out this program pretty quickly. You like build it out. It's still, I mean, 20 minutes is still like insanely fast to have this done. This is like a only you feat kind of thing, right? You build it out. It's processing and gathering data. You continue to do research. So we'll start with what you get. So from what you get from your like auto search, effectively, you know for certain that that who you are going up against are menacing and horrible people. There are hundreds of posts all about like how horrible the Opal Gree are, what they've done. People do posts all the time about it in like the drip, and it kind of almost as you're looking up stuff like specifically about the drip, and the auto search is kind of doing this like search on Opal Gree, you're realizing that the two are almost connected, as like when you're doing your research, you find that people who are inside of the drip are like basically in a state of constant fear because of these people. Like, it's not the acid rain that they're afraid of. It's that Opal Gree has gotten so dangerous and so large that they themselves are causing the fear amongst the people. And you surmise this from both of these things, like being connected together. Crone, as you're doing your investigating, you end up finding on some obscure site a like pretty accurate description of what the base of one of this looks like. The base of this building looks like. Effectively, the entrance of Opal Gree. It's written up by some random like MP from UR military police. They like it's like some dude doing like investigating. You can see it's like a long written and long-winded kind of explanation of everything that's down below. And what you find is that on the first floor, there's essentially two entrances to the building. There's one that is a front-facing entrance, and then one that there's an alley to the east side. The front entrance is guarded by a minimum of 6 Gith troopers all the time, and it never goes down from that. There has to be 6 there in the front. It has a 10-foot tall metal barrier all the way around it, as well as a AI mesh that's essentially the gate of this. If that gate registers that you are not a part of their organization or you're not whitelisted on one of their servers, it will instantly kill you. It takes away even so much so down to a bacterial level of extermination. There are 4 automatic turrets on the outside of the walls. The Opal Gree turrets can detect hostility as well as fire, as long as like so. If a person walks up who is hostile, the turret can detect hostility and will fire instantly unless you are whitelisted. The side entrance is covered by 2 guards. There is another AI mesh against that door, and again, instant death if you walk into it and you are not whitelisted.
Quick question. So essentially, the turrets make, for lack of a better word, insight checks?
Yep.
Holy shit. Okay.
So they can determine based on facial recognition,
okay,
as well as murderous intent.
It's fucking awesome. It's bad for us, but it's fucking awesome. I just want to say.
Click's like, let's steal some of those.
No, I mean,
base floor is the least impressive of their security. He mentions that at the very end, as this is a 30-story tall apartment building that they've taken over.
wow.
Lastly, but not leastly, Zero, can you make me a history check? You can have it with disadvantage.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, I'll allow you to do it with disadvantage. I love how generous our DM is. Oh no!
Man, Zero's going through it today.
Life of you, what is happening? But this is such an extremely like you're like looking over Crone's shoulder in this moment, and he's looking at like this like long-winded document with a very advanced language on it. There's like, you know, this detective is using stuff that only like, you know, MPs use, that is hard to determine like what he's actually talking about. You're looking over Crone's shoulder in this moment, and it is just completely lost on you. All you know is that you can see like the screen itself, you can see that it's moving, and you know that Crone is hard at work. As all of this happens, you hear outside the rain stop. It goes so suddenly. It is pouring and then gone. And in that, you realize that it must be gone from outside. There is no longer a thunderous roar of acid rain falling. It must be over.
I at this point, when I hear that, I'm gonna go to a window, and again, just kind of keep an eye out. Like, okay, the acid rain has stopped. I'm just gonna keep an eye out, like, to see. I know now. I mean, player knows, character doesn't. But so yeah, I'm still trying to figure out where is everybody and how do they get around. And Captain, what? Oh, you're busy working on something right now, right?
I'm investigating, but you could interrupt me.
At this point, like, everybody's kind of finishing out their
Okay.
work. So as the rain stops, it's like, oh, okay, it's time to start doing things.
We need to stop being lazy now that the rain's over.
Yeah, now that the
That's what the-
death rain.
No.
If I
Jerry, you did a lot. Don't worry about that. You got a lot right here.
If I see Captain like packing up his stuff and everything, like we're getting ready to move, I would, in his head, I'd say, "Hey, Captain, so how do people? There's nobody out there. They don't what? How do people get around here?"
Without being seen. They hide from Obogri. They're worried about being seen by anyone. They don't even like being known they're here.
I'll nod and go, that makes a lot of sense. I'll give a thumbs up. And then I'll say, so based on our last the building there, I don't know if you noticed, but I tend to like to blend into my surroundings, and it makes it hard to communicate. And I was thinking you had a great idea. You said you had a word for me when you wanted me to attack, but since I hide a lot, maybe as a group we should come up with a word that, like, if you want to talk to me, because I don't know if you want to talk to me or not, and it's kind of one way like this, like maybe a word that we say that means you want to get my attention. Maybe, like, I've heard this phrase, a safe word. something like that, right?
Wait, you didn't say that out loud, right?
Set
You
up a
didn't
silent
like.
call and everything.
I didn't hear that, right?
No, I'm talking telepathically, and you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
can't understand me. The only way to understand me is telepathically.
I feel like my head randomly
Touch my
just
pearls and
lifts up
fan my
and
face.
around.
But yeah, I'll like, yeah, it's what that, like a safe word. I heard of that, right? We need a safe word.
All of the jokes I can't make.
Forgive me, I'm not used to people in my head, and certainly not used to two different at the same time. Am I able to reply to yours mentally?
Oh yeah, totally. We're gonna have a conversation, but I just have to start it.
And granted, I said that out loud because that's
Yeah,
he would still start it that way.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
And then as soon as you're like, yeah, so you just start thinking. Then perhaps when I move my hair from my ear, that'll let you know to give a listen.
Okay, what about everybody else? I don't know if Akai has hair.
If they need
Bitch.
you,
Do you?
they can make up their own way.
I have twists.
Oh, sorry.
Long twists.
They have great hair.
Okay, so basically what I'm trying to do is like a signal for anybody if they want my attention. They can either say something or
How about pop?
pop. Okay, pop. If I hear pop, that means I'm in your. That means you want to get my attention.
There.
Okay.
I'll let everyone know.
All right. Okay. Cool. Great. Oh, and thanks for the insight on the thing. Should we also
Anytime.
perhaps stealth and hide on our way out? Or
I'm not quite nearly as worried.
okay.
I think most have seen us in some way. They don't particularly have any begrudges towards us. If anything, it would be Opal Gree. Though, with that in mind, perhaps if you can keep up, perhaps you can hide away again. Keeping you hidden is fantastically advantageous.
It's my comfort zone. It's what I do. Sometimes without even trying.
I won't
All the jokes I
complain.
can't make.
All right. So I'll say, all right, whenever possible, hide. Got it. Good. All right.
All right, and as this conversation very one-sided concludes, the doors are pushed open as you smell the very intense smell of rot. You go and it braces you. It's like the opposite of sea air. As it hits you, and you immediately know what it is and how impactful it can be as soon as it stops. Oof, into the interior of the building. You walk out, and you know where this place is. Crone, you have the address.
I'd like to turn my olfactory senses off.
Yeah, for sure. That's smart
And
play.
I'm gonna stealth.
Yep. Go ahead and roll out your stealth.
Okay.
All right.
I'm because I don't wear shoes, I'm actively avoiding like puddles while I'm trying to be stealthy.
Where do you guys go?
Okay.
Well, this area isn't down in the drip, correct?
No, yeah, you're in the drip. The drip is the entire 5th tier.
Well, but the base wasn't. It was on like the 3rd floor, right?
You mean the base for
Opal
Gree?
Gree.
Yeah, they're in the drip.
Okay.
I'm following the captain.
Keep
I'm
in mind
following
that once I get to the ship, I could look at the tape further.
So, Crone, if you need a reminder, what you have right now is the slums radius is about 120 miles. From where you are to Opal Gree's base, you're estimating without like looking up anything, probably is going to be about 30 miles away. You're going to need something to get there. To walk it is just going to be insane. You know that there are the availability of hover, essentially hover scooters or bikes or to be able to like get around quickly. But there's only one place you can remember where those are at, which is Bothra. Because as you left, Jimmy offered it to you. The ship from where you are to the elevator, you're roughly about, maybe a mile, maybe 2 out. You get back to the elevator, you can get back up, you can see your ship. You know that your ship's on lockdown. Like, the ship isn't getting out unless you can get over the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is filled with so much red tape that you're scared you'll never get your ship out. Effectively, the ship is like the thrusters themselves are being gripped. Even if you are able to turn them on and fire the ship full blast, destroying some of the Citadel along with it, you would kill innocent civilians and you would destroy your ship.
They've got our turtle by the balls.
So the options here, and I may be missing some. You have Jimmy's ability to get you some sort of transportation. You have the ability to go up to different tiers. You have the ability to go back to your ship. And you can do anything else you'd like to do. But you can, and even like discovering more about the bureaucracy and where you're supposed to be and all of this stuff, because you're supposed to start indentured servitude at some point, but have no idea when.
I wouldn't mind going and getting a hover bike, just if you put it up to a road.
I'm sure.
I think I also don't I have Jimmy's contact information as well. If I need, didn't he offer that to us?
Yep.
He offered it to you in a data card, but you looked through the data card and realized that it would pull your information as well.
Yeah, but I still have it, right?
Yeah, you still have it. You can access it, but as soon as you access it to put his contact into any one of your devices, it will transfer your data.
I can contact a hunky dragonborn. You do that.
I think we can wait. I think we'll make our way back. This has gotten more intriguing. We'll all need to grab a speeder. But I still want to keep a bit of distance. I want to see. Perhaps we can try and find some other way. From my understanding, this space is going to be difficult to get into. I'm curious how much we can overcome. Some might be to your benefit, some to Dax. I'm hoping perhaps to everyone else as well. But I think the biggest problem might be whoever they consider friends. Let's head back to the speeders.
To the ship.
The speeders. Both are off.
Akai in a moment of joy, even if for a second. And you guys begin to make your way back. Everybody, give me a perception as well. As you're walking back to the building where you know where this place is now. You go ahead and you just like make your way. You see like the interior of this base in which you were just at. And as you're walking inside, you can hear a very familiar voice as the like service technician is still working there. Crone, as you're walking, you notice a couple of things. One, as you're walking outside, you see every once in a while in your peripheral, you look up and you can see somebody looking at you in a window. And then on the other side, and then on the other side, and then both, and then like 2 floors down, and then all this stuff, right? And so you can see that there are a multitude of people here, and because you're walking outside, they are just looking at you, trying to figure out what's going on. As you walk into the interior of the building, you hear that, like, security guard as he is finally finishing his sandwich. And door open, and you guys see him as you walk up. He goes, "What's with this? You're back again?"
Can't get around the bus, baby.
Can I just walk past him to the thing and enter the code?
Yeah, you can. What's
Yeah.
the code?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hell yeah, it is. So
It's either 1, 2, 3, 4 or password.
I doing up here, and Click just walks past 1, 2, 3, 4, and goes out into the side.
Yeah.
The door opens up. You can walk downstairs.
Yeah, I just ignore him.
All right, yeah. You guys walk downstairs. You can hear from the interior. Once again, you can hear Jimmy talking. And as you're making your way down, is anybody doing anything, or are you guys just kind of like moving your way through, trying to get there as quickly as possible?
I'm preening. I'm like, readjusting my jacket and like, doing my hair. Like, I'm just ready.
Yeah.
I'm going to be trying to explain kind of the situation a little bit to Zero.
Okay, nice.
Do I need to make another
Zero,
stealth check?
you have gleaned a lot of knowledge in the last, probably some on the walk over as well as like this walk down. Crone's told you the majority of what's happening, so you know what's going on and what you're walking into. And you guys kind of go down, turn the corner. Jimmy's there, sees you. He goes, "Oh, you're back. I didn't think you'd be back so soon."
Was hoping to obtain a few speeders to further investigate.
Yeah, the bikes don't sound so bad when you know how big the city is, huh?
Nah.
All right, yeah. Let's get you some bikes. And he walks over to like one of their side rooms, calls you over. You guys walk over with him. This place is like littered with just a ton of stuff that's like inside of crates and stuff. Nothing is able to be seen. You guys are kind of like shuffling your way through. Eventually get to this room. There are a multitude of like easy transportation devices here. They have like hoverboards, essentially. They have the scooters, and you know that these travel, somewhere around between like 30 to like 45 miles an hour.
Can I immediately start running around trying to play with each of them and see what happens?
100%.
I love it.
Jared, what do you grab? You grab they have like the scooter, right, which is like a normal like a razor scooter, and like you put your feet on, you go sideways, right? They have one of those. They
Yeah.
have like a bike that you put like much like a motorcycle, but just like a hover cycle essentially. And then they also have the hoverboards, which are essentially like skateboards, but like hover along the ground and go extremely fast.
Can I jump on a hoverboard over to one of the like motorcycle things?
Oh, yep. Go ahead and just give me we'll call it a history because it's an intelligence based skill.
Okay.
All right, and then everybody else, you can just choose what you would like. You're all somewhat familiar with all of these as you have grown up seeing them, so you have your preference and you know how to ride it. Zero, you hop on one. It's hard to like, really like get it down, but you feel like even hopping on it, you're like, oh, this thing moves like very fast, and you were not sure that was going to happen, and it slips out, much like a skateboard, like a new person like hopping onto a skateboard. It like slips out, but it goes like 40 miles an hour instantly and just slams into a wall. And Jimmy's just like stares at you. What is up with this kid?
They're my favorite.
You'll hear.
They can
I'll say
ride
to
with
it,
me.
Sorry.
Wait, you say that how?
In his head.
In his head, he's like, yeah, it's not a problem. Grab another one, just play with it. You'll get it eventually.
Zero. How about you ride with me?
Oh, come on, the kid's sorry. It's fine.
I'm not worried about them sorry. I'm worried about them making it.
Every 12-year-old has a hover, thing, right? Like, what's the mortality rate? Like 20, 30%?
That would be the problem.
Can I try it again?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, give me another history. Give me with advantage.
Okay.
Also, Cody, I think Click is trying to do something.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
when you get around to me.
Okay.
Oh no!
Why can't I roll good?
I learned nothing.
Instinct, just go right away as soon as you step on it, right in the wall. Like, no, you're supposed to get on it, and then you're supposed to like go forward. You're not supposed to like launch it. It's not a miss. Well, I guess it could be a missile.
And I understand none of that.
I lean over to Dax. I'm like, he's good with kids.
Zero.
Is that
You're
dex-based at all?
learning. What?
Is this not dex based at all?
Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, let's give you another one. He'll go over to one, and he's like, okay, here, let me give me 1 sec. And you see him, he starts like tinkering with it.
Training wheels.
Yeah, exactly. He starts like tinkering away at it, and then you see him like kind of toss it down to you. And when the hoverboard, like normally each one is like inactive, as like when you step on it, it becomes active, and that's what's kind of like messing you up. Is it like becomes active? You're not ready for it to like lift up off the ground, so you have like one foot on. This one is always active, and so it's just slightly hovering on the ground as it almost like like an air hockey puck floating over the table to you. And when you step on it, you can feel that it's like reduced its overall speed, and it will take more effort to like push forward and gain speed quickly, but it is much more secure. And he tosses it over to you, kind of hockey pucking to you, and you put a foot on it. Give me let's do a acrobatics. You can have an advantage.
Yay.
There
19.
you go.
It's smooth. You put a foot on, you feel like you know what to expect. You brace for that like quick like zip off again, but instead this time you feel going forward and backward. You get it. You're on it. You feel the motion. So you can ride this thing.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna just start riding it around the room.
Yeah. You go around the room. You're just floating around, getting the hang of it. You know that this will go the full speed. You'll end up going like 45 miles an hour. But
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
slowly
feel
getting
the
faster and faster.
Yeah, you can feel like
Oh,
you have
no.
to push your way down to be able to like get this thing to go, but you could get it to go. All right, so Zero floating around the room quicker and quicker with every lap. What do the rest of you choose? Let's start with Click.
Yeah.
What do you choose?
Well, on the way there, did we go through? I want that bear spray. Did we go through the room where he stored the bear spray stuff?
Yeah, you would walk past it.
Okay. I was technically still stealthed, right? Because I didn't say any. I haven't broken my stealth. So I really want some more of that bear spray.
Yeah, give me a sleight of hand.
Okay. Well, I do. I mean, I have. If it's locked, I do have lockpicks. I'm proficient. So, okay. So Slido hand. Well, would this be a thieves' tool or just sleight of hand?
So if you, I don't know if you we determined last time what it was. I don't know if you actually saw, because I think that you.
It was open, and I tried like at this to do it at the same
Right.
time while it was open. I didn't actually try and open it.
So when you look down below, give me a perception.
Okay.
Actually, let's do an investigation.
All right.
Makes more sense.
2.
So as you look underneath the desk, it's gone. There's nothing even there.
Fuck. Damn it.
So he must have moved it or something, because
All right.
he knew that you saw it somehow,
Well,
and he's like, this
he did
little
catch
guy
me
ain't getting my
trying to.
stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
He moved it.
Damn it. All right. So that was the only thing. I'll catch up with everybody and I'll see them. I'll grab, because I'm tiny. I'm assuming the hoverboards are like a couple feet.
They're like skateboard style
Okay.
length. It's like about 2 feet long, maybe like 6. Some of them are like 6 to 8 inches wide. Some of them are 12. Just depends on what kind of board you like.
I will find one because I'm only 2.5 feet tall. So I will go to one, and basically what I'm going to do is, normally my big arms are default just crossed in front of me, but I'm going to jump on this thing, and my legs are going to kind of grab the back of the board. My the light hands will grab the front, and then my big arms are just going to start pedaling.
Nice.
and,
quick.
and I'm gonna match the color of the board, so it just this
Looks
board.
like an empty hoverboard.
Yeah. So do I
Alright,
need to
perfect.
do?
No, you're good. This is something like Zero had to do, like investigate, or have to do these checks because they never grew up with them.
All right.
But all of you throughout your
Yeah.
childhood have seen these things. Some of you have built these things.
Yeah.
Like, you know how they work.
Yeah,
So,
and it's like, oh yeah, I know. So I'm automatically, I know. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
be
know exactly
I'm gonna
what
be
you're gonna
holding, controlling the board, and moving at the same
Yeah.
time. So yeah, I'm good.
Prone, what do you end up grabbing?
I'm gonna just grab the thing that will help me keep up, and it's just gonna be the safest thing because I know I'm not a good driver.
So,
Actually,
you
hey,
grab-
can someone drive me?
there you go.
The bike. Right?
Zero.
Absolutely not Zero.
God no.
There is not enough room for 2 on a hoverboard, but drive.
I'll go with
Can
that.
Can I tinker like a side cart for the hoverboard and just like connect 2 and it's a fucking
You
thing?
definitely, like I said, tinkering takes time. So, like, you'll have to have, like, tools and time to be able to do it. If you guys want to chill for a couple hours while Dax, like, rigs up
No, I'm
some
good.
stuff.
I want to run around with my
Yeah.
my
I'm-
thing.
And I'm just gonna point at the motorcycle one. I'm like,
So, like invisible on top of a hoverboard is
Oh.
motioning at this.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I'd wind
hoverboard
up
is just
grabbing one of the
gyrating.
bikes.
All right. So, so Crone, you grab a bike. Give me a history check.
Hey.
Pick up on it. Anybody can give me a insight.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm not even sure I'd be paying attention, honestly.
That's
You
fine.
better
Good
not be.
shot.
You better be focused.
That's fair.
You have 5 attention points, and all of them are on not crashing.
So, you guys kind of get the feeling
Less
that
about not crashing, honestly, and more about, like, how fast can I go without crashing?
Zero, by the way, no fucking protective gear. Like,
Yeah.
100% you're just going.
Oh, and in Zero's head, I'll be telling him, like, no, you just, like, yeah, just grab it with your feet and your hands, and then you use your other hands to propel yourself. It's simple.
I don't have that many limbs.
What?
I don't have that many limbs.
Well, okay, grab on with one foot, steer with the other foot, and then move with your arms.
How am I supposed to grab onto it with shoes?
Okay, I can't help you.
Do I need to take off my shoes?
Don't you fucking dare!
Wait. Quick question. Do they have shoes?
You
Yes,
did
we
it.
went it. I gave them 2 pairs of shoes.
Okay,
actually.
cool. I was trying to remember, but yeah. Okay.
Anybody who is like kind of looks at Crone, you get the feeling like Crone has not ridden one of these bikes in a very long time. As Crone looks a little uncomfortable, but hops on, you see, start to get used to it again, feel it out. Crone, you're good. Akai, whatever you want.
Motorbikes are my jazz, bro.
Motor biking. All right. Yeah, Kai, you grab one. As you do, these kind of like, as soon as you sit down, it's like you and the bike become like connected. Like the exterior of the bike kind of flows out it projects like an image. Normally the images, like if you look at Crohn's, like the images are like these like kind of like pinstriped race stripes, and has like everything like projected out, like hollow projected, to like give it some oomph, right? As soon as you hop on it and start it up, you kind of become connected to it, and in this, it customizes to exactly what you would like it to be. So, what does your bike's hollow like look like? What is happening as Akai hops down onto this bike?
As I hop onto this bike, first of all, any illumination, screens, whatever, go to cyan with like hot red buttons specifically.
Nice.
There's like lava lamp type, sort of graphics happening in the backgrounds of these screens. This thing is definitely souped up. Like outside of hardware, any software that can get this thing to go faster or is sort of easier to control as far as like what I know, right-handed versus left-handed, sort of brake instructions, all of the things that like I would need to know to get used to a new speeder, I have available to me on instruction pamphlets like on the screens here. So I'm basically just sort of casually scrolling through these, seeing what's different to me, to my knowledge on this thing.
Nice.
Yeah, no, this thing is great, and it definitely has many glowy pieces. It fits me. It's great.
Yeah, it is sick. And give me a hack check. You can have advantage. While you're doing that, Dax, what do you pick up?
Dax, for the last few minutes, has been sitting Indian style on a longer sized hoverboard.
Nice.
and all of a sudden you just hear it go, "Auga!" super loud. I am doing a magical tinkering, and I am putting that sound on a little pressure point on the end of my board.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And
Love
then
that.
I hop up, and I'm just going to zoom around a bit. And I'm
Nice.
going to hit my horn a few times.
Can I ask a question? Do I see when a Kai, like, I'm on my little hoverboard, when I see a Kai, like, that gets on this motorcycle and it looks badass, I'm gonna, like, fuck it, I'm gonna get off with a skateboard and, like, look for one of those badass motorcycles.
Yeah, you bounce over to one of those motorcycles, you hop on it, and like lights, like the hollow lights like light up, but they're just like, you know, it looks almost identical to Crone's bike, minus the fact that like yours are yellow pinstripes and his are blue pinstripes. But they look identical.
I'm like, I start pushing buttons trying to make it, trying to make it look awesome. Like,
Give me a hack check.
what's
That's a
that?
D20
That's-
plus your intelligence.
D20 plus.
Yeah.
Okay, so a D20 then.
And Akai, your bike will go. A normal like speeder bike doesn't go as fast as a hoverboard. It'll go about 30, maybe 35 if it's like tuned up. Yours will go 45, the same speed as a hoverboard.
Fuck yeah.
Like you just start
Not
pushing
racist.
buttons.
Yeah. And it's
No.
like,
Push as many as you
Yes.
can out as fast as you can. Jimmy is like staring at you and he's like, "This guy know what he's doing? It looks crazy. What are you doing over there?" As you're like just pressing stuff, he's like saying this out like a little bit, but like underneath his breath. It's like, what is he doing? And then you hit a button and the bike just goes completely dark. And he goes, "Oh, you fucking bricked it." And he walks over and he's like,
Oh shit.
"Come on, man. I have to factory reset this thing
I
now."
hide.
Jimmy, do you want me to help you out there?
Yeah, I
I might be able to
reflexively,
fix
I
it.
take any
Just-
help. These bikes are so hard to factory reset. It's so annoying.
I just look at him and like just roll off the side of the bike and hide.
Alright, go ahead
Okay.
and roll.
I'm gonna go over and just try and get it back to where it was before, so outside of bricking it.
Alright, give me another hack check.
Okay.
Yeah, you like stealth away just like immediately as soon as you just hit.
And I go back to my
Jimmy will give you advantage on this as he's helping.
Oh, me?
Yeah, he'll give you advantage.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, very fucking quickly. You're just like a couple of things. He mentions like, "Oh yeah, you want to go down route directory 2 because that's where the thing is," and then you're like, "Oh right," we're remembering like, "Oh yeah, this is where it is," and then you keep going through these like you create like a quick script and you just are so quick at doing this. It was gonna take him like hours to get done, and instead it's taken like 5 minutes.
I feel
He's
very
like-
proud of myself because I got to show off in front of Jimmy.
Damn, you're quick. Thank you so much.
Always.
Can I tell that Akai has the hots for him?
Yeah, everybody's got it.
Okay, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure. Okay, so Akai, in your head, you hear, thanks a lot, and you're welcome.
Actually, I reply with a very sassy, "Thank you, Mr. Bug, for fucking up the bike."
Nice.
It's a
right.
long game. It's a long game. Don't worry. It'll work.
Everybody has their stuff. Zero, you're just feeling more and more comfortable. You're getting faster and faster. At this point, you're hitting like 30 miles an hour pretty easy, just flying around. No longer are you like just like a little bit on above the ground where you're like slow, like going very slowly, like a few feet. Instead, you're going quick, and the board is actually picking up air, and you're about like 5 feet above the ground, like flying around the room. In this, everybody can see as you walk out, like Zero is feeling this board. You see everybody, and Jimmy's like, "Look, it's great to see you guys. Feel free if you guys, you still have my card. If you want to contact me, you can just contact me directly through that. As much as I'd like to be able to talk with everybody, I have some important business to take care of."
I actually have a couple questions for him while he's here, but
Yeah. What's going on?
yeah. With, it's less of a team thing and more of a personal thing, and I can just give you the information that I'm kind of hoping for.
In your head, you hear, oh yeah, go for it. Oh yeah.
I like stutter as I'm like,
Yeah, give me a constitution.
so
Give me a constitution.
me.
Yeah.
Oh great.
Yeah,
Just
I
maintain composure.
give a nice funky bass line, like, oh yeah, because they said
Is that
it's
a
a personal
save?
thing.
Yeah, constitution save. It's rough. It's rough to get through. You don't do bad, but Click is making
Well, because
things
the music
so
is so bad. That's
Oh yeah, horrible.
He's making it so bad for you right now. As Jimmy's like, yeah, what's up?
1 second. Click. Shut the fuck up.
Was that out loud or in your head?
Like,
You know what?
he,
In the
like,
head,
looks at
but
Click,
also just like.
actually doesn't look at Click because Click's gone. He like looks
Well,
around
that's
the room.
fair.
Yeah, but you can
He's
hear
got
me.
that. Yeah, I say to Jim, he's got that thing.
Right, go get it.
There, I came across a post about the drip while we were doing some research on the Opal Cree people, and I don't know if you guys have like people on there or you know what y'all's resources are, but I'd really like to know, by any chance, if you can find out what happened to the user Scoured 7831. Their post kind of hit me, you know, in the fields and stuff, and I'm just we haven't there's no sign of them after 3 years, and I'm kind of worried. I got this, yeah. So just if by any chance you run across it, you know, let me know. You know, when we come see you or whatever. Just yeah, that's my only thing.
Yeah, man, I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to our people and see if anybody's been on post. We do end up trying to share as much information about the drip as possible because UR loves to hide us down here.
Yeah, I'm getting that feeling, and it was really upsetting to see. So, yeah. Anyway, and I like, like turned really quickly to like get back on my bike. Like, I don't want to be vulnerable in front of him. I don't want him to think I'm weak. So I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, you turn, you hop on your bike. He's like, you know, you guys can use our extra entrance. He points down at the end. So just fly down towards that wall, and it'll open up for you directly to the street.
And I'm glad that Zero doesn't speak common to know, go fly towards the wall. He doesn't know that. He didn't hear that, doesn't understand it.
Click in your head. How do you stop it?
No, don't ask him. Don't ask him.
Whoa.
Okay, so what you do, again, take your third arm, brace it, and then you just use a
Don't
counterweight.
have a third arm.
God, what?
We're fucked.
I can't help you, man. I don't know, man, because that's how I stop.
All
How
right,
do you even
so,
use this thing?
The opposite of what I do to go faster, does that slow me down?
What's that?
If I do the opposite of what I do to go faster, does that slow me down?
It absolutely does. To going faster is to lean into the front of the hoverboard. To decrease speed is to lean back. It kind of cuts the air resistance as you slowly start coming down closer. Intuitively, Zero is like understanding how this thing works. Not mechanically understanding, but intuitively understanding the motions associated. You're getting it. You are 100% getting this thing. So Jimmy essentially will he bids everybody farewell. Says, hey, if you discover anything or if you have like another question, you have my card. Know that like any information will end up helping us. And as much as I would hate it, in the event of anything untimely, Go ahead and just send me a message. We'll help out as much as we can. And he turns and goes back to his desk. You can see him pop open the side underneath the desk again. He grabs the spray, sets it on the top of his desk, and
I'm already there. I'm right. I'm
Yeah.
like ready.
and he starts like doing business and stuff.
I take it all.
Slide a hand me.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Jimmy's not gonna let us visit anymore, dude.
Yeah. He instinctively smacks your hand as you go to reach for it. And he goes, "Not today.
Oh,
Gonna have to get better."
my apologies. I thought this was part of the,
Hey, little man, look, you can have it once you can get it from me without me knowing. How about that?
Oh, a
I
challenge.
Try
love
again
him.
next time.
I love him.
Okay then. Is there anything I can do? Anything?
Cannot do anything today, my friend. Everybody hops onto their vehicles as you guys kind of begin to go. Zero, you're kind of following behind everybody, watching them all go closer and closer to this wall. Eventually, the wall, you see it kind of sink down as the wall itself comes down in a staircase-like fashion after another wall, all the way until it reveals to you the street in which you can go right out. Where are you
I
guys
put
at?
up a hologram of a bike helmet
Nice.
No,
On you or on Zero?
on me.
Okay, nice.
quick question.
No, zero is. I don't got nothing for zero.
Zero.
I have my horns.
Do the
Zero has zero protection.
You said the hoverboards go like 45.
Yeah, hoverboards go like 40, 45.
Okay.
The bikes usually will go about 30, 35.
Okay,
Except
but
for my-
a Kai. So,
Akai's will go 45.
but Crohn's doesn't, or
Yeah, Crohn's goes 30.
okay, that's what I was trying to. Okay, so we can only go as fast as the slowest person. So I was just trying to. Okay.
All right, so where we going?
Quick question: is
Yeah.
it possible for me to stealth on this hoverboard?
I mean, the hoverboard will end up getting seen,
Yeah.
unless you're going to do something to the hoverboard. But, I mean, you can try to, make it seem like nobody's driving, essentially. But it's going to be disadvantaged, so for you, it'll be regular.
Why not? I'm going to try it. I'll just try it. So this should be regular. Ooh,
Nice.
Okay. And I'm going to try and... normally, I try to be on the outside of the group when we're traveling, but with this, I'm going to try and keep in between everybody so people don't notice that there's no one on that one.
Yeah, it almost looks like the hoverboard's in tow.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's exactly. So.
All right, so where are you guys going? You're on the street now. You're able to travel around.
I want to go about 10, 15 blocks or so from this base.
Okay. Yeah, so you travel to about 10 or 15 blocks out. There are buildings all around this that none of them match the height of this. This building is 30 stories tall. The closest one to it is about 2 blocks down, and it has a 25-story another apartment building a couple of blocks away. And so that's the tallest building that you'd be able to get into. That's the closest one that you'll be able to actually see something. Other than that, you're on the street with them, You could be a block over. You can like view things around. You're not really sure what's inhabited and not inhabited, as you know that there are some people that are just hiding away. While we're kind of in this mode of like deciding what we're gonna do, let's go ahead and take our break here,
Cool.
and then we'll come back with a fresh mind and a plan.
Sure.
All right.
Hypothetical.
Thank you everybody for watching. We'll be back very soon.
All right.
Dance break.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to our
Oh, was that the
playthrough here.
sign? Was that
The thumbs up
Just
means
Matrix.
we're live. When I
the sign?
say
Okay, I gotcha.
we're going live, and I give the
Can you do it
thumbs
one more
up.
time for me? Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back to Eta Carinae.
This is the spiteful channel. All right, so left off, everybody is making their way to our building here where Opal Gree is supposed to be. We're about 15 blocks out. You have ascertained immediately that the highest level building is 25 stories. It's 2 blocks from them. It is 2 blocks away from them, meaning that from that building, you can effectively see their building. Other than that, most of the buildings are between 10 to 12 stories tall, with very few of them being 2 stories tall.
I totally forgot what we're even supposed to be doing. Are we supposed to be getting something, or?
Crone?
Yeah, in your head.
We're gonna go fight bad guys, dude.
Yeah.
Well, they're a bunch of thieves and grifters who've recently hit a military transport.
Okay.
We're looking to deal with them a bit.
So in your head, you heard. So, just to be clear, us chucklefucks are supposed to assault a 30-story building.
I think more appropriately named, it'd be a fortress.
Fortress.
Don't correct Chucklefucks. Correct degree of danger.
I'm
I
like,
don't know, like,
I just want to make sure we're on the same page and making sure that you have a plan. Right, Captain?
That's what we're here to fully determine.
Okay.
So I will say this. There's plenty of information that can be gotten by just doing investigating. So if you guys want to do investigating, you're more than free. If not, you want to just go like a straight on like, hey, we're gonna like go and like blow some stuff up. Cool too. So you just kind of have to like let me know like how you're investigating, because how you're investigating will effectively change the information that you get.
Quick question.
And nobody has to do the same stuff, so everybody can do their own investigation.
Quick question. I remember it was mentioned that there's like the huge main entrance, and then there was maybe a side entrance that was mentioned. Was that? Do we all know about that, or was that just something? Because as far as I know, that's only, I believe, Captain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
So, welcome. And as we kind of pull up to the area, just the Opal Gree, violent and menacing little group there. They have hit a few military transports and have caused other problems for the Bothra. I'm going to help out a little bit and grab an item or two. Specificness. The problem is the main front fortress, as Kalikatak has already explained. It's covered by a 10-foot tall barrier that touching will hurt you very badly,
covered by 6 Skith warriors, and a few turrets.
Does it,
And that's just at the front.
does it care about animals?
I did. Can you say that again? Zero. I didn't hear it.
Does it care about animals? And to crown set.
It's actually a really good question.
As I
We're
understand
just
it, can
vaporizing
detect
dogs.
some level of hostility, so I can't imagine a bird or a rat is too hostile. But I wouldn't put it past these things to hit anything that comes across its barrier.
Is there a point of weakness in its security?
There is a possibility of a side entrance. Also with a bit of turrets, and also has a barrier on the inside. Though both the front and the side seem as if there's a chance that perhaps they can be overcome if were perhaps listed in a certain way, or perhaps escorted in. Though I can't imagine that will go smoothly through most means.
Yeah. Cody? Can I do some intense research on, like, the, technological defense, hacking-wise? Like, things. And then also, if I could look at if any of the known Opal Grey, if there are, like, specifically known people in it, if they have a tendency, like, pick up chicks, kind of, those with money play with it kind of thing. Social gatherings, wherever, what's going on with them.
Sure.
Is there like a social, there's social media, right? Like there's,
Of course.
yeah, so maybe
Facebook.
there, canon. I vote canon on that. Spacebook. Question. You said we were 15 blocks away? 15 blocks or 15 minutes? I forgot. I'm sorry.
About 15 blocks out.
Blocks. Okay. Just for my telepathy, about how like one length of a block, about how far is that?
I think one block is like, I don't know. Let me look it up.
Well, it depends on the city.
How
One
far
block in like New York is very different than one block in Vegas.
Ah,
200 feet.
200. Okay. And I would just, if everybody doesn't know by now, my telepathy is only 120 feet. So,
excuse me.
We'll say 120 feet.
okay. So, yeah.
No, it's one block for your telepathy.
All right. Yeah. So, it would, okay. So, I would volunteer. Hey, Captain, I can go scout out, sneak around, just get eyes on, see if there is another entrance, maybe.
That would be helpful. But before you run off, perhaps if you could try collecting a few mirror pieces.
Mirror pieces?
I'm sure there's some somewhere around here.
I'll reach in my bag and pull out a mirror and go like this.
Yes, but I would prefer many more.
We can break it.
I put it back in my bag, like,
You wouldn't get it back. You should try finding a few before you run off.
okay.
I'll explain once you show them to me.
I'll give a thumbs up, and I'll I'll okay. So I haven't actually spoken. I don't speak out loud, so I didn't break my stealth. So I'm gonna look around for things that are reflective.
Okay. Give me an investigation.
Okay. And I'm gonna make sure. Okay,
It'll
normal.
be disadvantaged.
Oh, well, why?
It's hard to find reflective things when there's acid pouring from the sky.
True.
Like most stuff gets destroyed just due to the acidity, right?
Well, isn't glass resistant to acid? Usually,
Actually,
don't we put acid in glass vials and things?
that is true.
I'll
But
give that to you.
so it doesn't matter. I rolled a 7.
I also think I just pulled a Charlie, and I don't know how to figure it.
Wait, what?
As you are looking
I
around,
brought in real life physics.
Oh,
you find like a piece, like a singular piece, maybe 3 or 4 inches by maybe like 2 or 3 inches of glass. It's reflective enough to like cast a like a shine.
Okay, I'll go up and set it on Captain's bike. That's all I got. Sorry.
Hopefully you can find some more as you try and look around. Just try and see if you can place it someplace at locations that throughout the day the sun might hit it and will redirect the sun towards the fortress.
We're in a spaceship. There's no sun.
That's very true.
Oh, I don't want to break it to you. I thought you knew. I'm sorry.
But the light comes from somewhere.
Yeah, there's artificial lighting.
Okay. Okay, so you want the
It's
light.
more about the reflection.
Where do you want it, the light reflected to?
Anywhere on the base, so that someone might see it.
Right. Do the lights move? Or are they constantly in a fixed position?
They're static. So essentially what happens is that there are like rows of lights,
Uh-huh.
and all of these lights just kick on, and then all the lights turn off.
Oh,
Okay.
that day-night cycle is bad.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there
Bad
is no
day-night
like
cycle.
it's dimming. It's like darkness, light outside.
Okay.
It is very concerning if you're not from here.
So I'm trying to figure out what the hell you want me to do. I'm like, okay. So if I could reflect the light.
Just face it toward the base.
Okay. I'll mark where they are, and I have chalk, and I'll tell you like this mark, because if I can, I'm going to try and put them like up high, kind of thing. So, and you said like 3 or 4, right?
Any that you can find.
Okay, so I got 1. Then I'll say, okay, I'm gonna head. I'm gonna go look for reflective stuff to point at the fortress, and I'm gonna do kind of a loop around, just looking for entrances or anything like that.
Loop first. Understand the area.
Right.
Then place.
Look for reflective stuff. Look around. Then place. I'm on it. I'm on it, Captain.
All right.
And then
Blake
I'll-
scurries away.
Yep. Hey, it's great that we don't have any way to communicate with each other. As I'm not here anymore. I'm gonna die.
Oh no.
I just realized, I've left. It's like, nope, no way to communicate. I just specifically established that I can't communicate. All right.
Should have asked him for walkie-talkies or something.
Yeah, I'm gone. So,
Okay, you're doing intense research, right?
Yep.
All right. So You have to find like some place kind of like to hold up, so that way you're not just like chilling on the street, like with your data pad. It looks just highly suspicious because nobody's
Yeah,
on the
no, of
street,
course.
right?
Yeah.
So where do you guys go? Like, Click talks to Captain, scurries off, but where is everybody else going?
Oh, I would have
I
put my
assume Captain's leading us inside. So
sorry, real quick. I would have put my hoverboard like stowed it on Captain's bike if that's possible.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I would have. So it's on his bike.
And yeah, I'd lead us kind of more inside, kind of trying to hide our bikes. And the hoverboards a bit.
I'd like to try and get some eyes on from as far away as possible. I want to learn their schedules. Dax, could you make us perhaps a bit of monoculars of some sort, perhaps using whatever is around here?
I can get us closer.
I don't-
Look around for scraps.
I'm gonna sit down in the room and then spread out a bunch of incense.
Okay.
And start this like sort of ritual.
Perfect. So are you guys actually in somewhere yet? Or are you guys deciding what place
Oh, we
to
were
go
going-
to?
We were going inside, right? Or no?
We were just going to one of the random buildings at the 15-foot thing right
The
now.
15
And we're
blocks away?
yeah, right
Okay.
now we're just starting there, and that's kind of where we're first starting.
Gotcha.
Start
Alright.
there, move our way.
Perfect. So everybody goes inside. Zero, you start to place out these like incense. Okay.
before we head inside, I'd also like to grab some sort of refuse if there's like a tarp or like a dirty rag or something to sort of cover the bikes specifically because they're much harder to hide than the boards. So, because my shit is souped up as hell, and even with me not on it, it is like me, so it is eye catching. So I'd like to cover up as much of the glowing and the stuff as possible.
You can
Even while
also
it's
bring the
off.
bike inside
Yeah.
if you'd like to.
We can? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I know, 100%. These bikes they're not super like wide or anything. They're much like more like they're like motorcycles. Like pretty thin, right? And so you can fit it right through a door.
Okay, cool. I just I don't want to leave them outside where we can't see
They
them
will
and then just
be
have
gone.
them get taken
Sure.
Oh,
immediately.
yeah. There are
Immediately.
currently
So-
people eyeing them. Waiting.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
yeah, you guys go inside. Akai, why don't you give me a hack check?
Like,
Nice. Okay, so Akai is hacking away, trying to discover information. Dax, what are you doing?
Are they muted?
Oh, sorry, I guess I was muted. Looking for scraps so I can make that telescope.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and just give me a investigation, and then we'll do a engineering.
Oh no.
Yeah, so you find some materials. You know that it is not going to be enough to make a good telescope, but you can make a telescope. It's just that this will only see maybe a block over, so with some detail. But the pieces of glass that you're finding are just eroded away, cracked. It's really hard to find a perfect piece. That somewhere down here there has to be, but it's just not anywhere nearby.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm just gonna keep searching around as we go.
Okay. Okay, so Crone, are you doing anything right now?
One of the first things I'd be doing is trying to just figure out, pulling out kind of a notebook almost. I actually start drawing out the city block by block to the best of my what I kind of picked up and kind of what I've visualized,
Mhm.
and just kind of drawing it all out. Even almost seeing it strangely based off of comparing it to the data pad, but drawing it out almost still from that bird's eye view perspective.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead and give me either an investigation or a history or let's say a perception, whatever you think would be best in this situation.
Not my
Yeah, you start
best at
drawing it out by memory, realizing it is so hard to think about the bird's eye view of this because all of these buildings are kind of going into each other almost. And so because of that, it's how tall are the buildings outside? How tall are they really? Where am I seeing them from? And so because of this almost optical illusion of this happening, it is so hard to think about you being above them and looking down. You start to draw out kind of where you're at and just hitting the buildings that are around you first. But that's the start of what you get. Uh Akai, as you're doing some more research, uh, you discover that there is actually you start going onto these sites that are specifically for city maintenance, specifically for the drip. Now, maintenance is lacking. Apparently, nobody's been down here for quite a while to do anything, but they still exist. Maps, blueprints, all of these things are at your disposal. You just need to know where to look. You start to pour over city archives, looking through things that you definitely shouldn't be in, and you manage to find a city sewer system of your area. You discover that there is an additional a potential additional entrance to the Opalgree base, as you can see that the sewers underneath lead you directly underneath their base, and the sewers ceiling to their floor becomes very thin in one spot. And I think that if you want to do an engineering, you can discover what you would need to get through. But you assume that it would be much less guarded because it's not something that you would ever think to guard from, because it's not an actual entrance.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna enlist Dax's help on that, but I'm still researching for now.
For sure. Dax, was that your role right there?
My bad. I thought when you said doing engineering, you were talking to me. I didn't know you were talking to me.
So Dax, as you're kind of looking through these blueprints, you can tell that you're gonna need grade C explosives. You're gonna need 2. So you know that that'll break through this floor to that the floor to their ceiling. And you could do it in a way in which, I mean, it's going to make a bang, but you'll be able to get through. You know that grade C explosives run 2,500 credits apiece.
Okay.
Yeah, these are C4, heavy grade explosives, but there's no way that they are going to think, oh yeah, we need to cover this bit of floor.
So did I by any chance get anything on the social media search for members and stuff? Or do I need to roll again?
Yeah, if you want to just give me another roll, we're gonna call this one probably an investigation.
Investigation? Okay.
Yeah.
Not my strong suit.
Hey.
Hey.
Yay, yeah, man.
It's my strong
Yeah,
suit today!
So you discover some stuff.
I got a
One,
pen ready, dude.
so the Opal Gree never ever party outside the base. You can tell that one, they don't own any social medias, and in fact, everyone is forbade from using social media. They're supposed to be kept extremely secret, but Akai is a sleuthy guy. And you ended up going on this form that led you to something else, which led you into a personal archive of all Opal Gree posts. This is something that they have put out themselves. The Gith that are not of high tier, meaning that like they're not officers, they're just like, some like mercenaries, there's some like, people who they've like recruited in that are all super low level, and it's all of them talking shit about everybody who's above them. And
Oh, I love this tea and
This is
scalding.
great.
you discover some pretty nasty stuff. You discover that the Gith High Lord, his name is Vulkir. It's Vuulkere. He's a Gith High Lord, and constantly they're berating him because he is a huge dude. He basically like all he does is like sit in this chair. He has this like mastermind plan that he never tells anybody what anything is. All he does is sit in his penthouse on the 30th floor. He has everything delivered to him via drones. Nobody really sees him, and they are constantly complaining that the only person who even gets to see him is this accountant. And it's after the accountant goes through the Muron Vault. So it's Murron. Okay. A Muron Vault. So I'm going to say, Akai, you, with that nat 20, you have heard of Muron Vaults. You have like you've been hacking long enough. You have seen the darkest of this dark web, and you know Muron Vault because it is essentially an unpenetrable vault, and it's something that you've played with the idea of to practice on. To they have like these kind of like off-brand but like still run the same code Muron vaults that you can load onto systems that you can like practice against, and it's something that you've played with, and you know that these things, the real ones, are unhackable. They cannot be hacked at all. There are two ways that you can open this thing up. One is that it will have two passwords, and it will have two different people's eyes that you have to retinally scan. The person has to be alive. So it will also measure the pulse of the person as the eye scan occurs. The voice password is something that the person ends up setting up, and the only way that you will ever be able to get past this door is if you have an MVC, that's Muron Vault Company. So if you have an MVC password, you can reset this vault. It does like a factory reset. It takes 30 minutes to complete, and the MVC password changes every 24 hours. So it's like
Jesus.
once you get it, you have to use it or it goes to waste. You discover all of that. You know that if attempted by brute force, by either muscle or by hacking, an alarm will sound, the vault's turrets will come online. There are more turrets in this vault than there are outside. The chamber will be filled with toxic gas, enough to kill an army of elephants.
Okay.
And because of your nat 20, what I'm going to say is that one of these guys, he bitches because the accountant is the only one that that the Githyanki High Lord allows to go into the vault and come out of the vault, to specifically keep track of how much they're making week by week, and what their liabilities are, what their loss is, and what their overall profit is week to week basis. He bitches because that accountant has the ability to get into the vault himself.
Get the accountant. Got it.
Target acquired.
Yeah. Yeah. Secure the accountant. Oh my god, Captain! Like I am just sort of squirreled in a ball right now, and I'm like, I smack the floor like excitedly, and I'm like, dude, I just broke open the biggest like teapot ever. Oh my god. So I'm gonna. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm really excited right now.
Hey, that's what a nat 20 will get you. Okay, you gotta honor a nat 20. That's all I know.
Okay. I assume the captain is paying attention to me. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just found secret spacebook for them. Like secret spacebook. And they're talking shit. Ooh. I'm. Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Continue.
So. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I found out that this High Lord, this Gith High Lord, is Volkir.
Yeah, Volkir.
Okay, so that's just like, I guess I assume real first name or whatever. And his underlings are talking shit because he's, first of all, massive, and second of all, he's on like in the penthouse and like the 30th level, and nobody sees him but his accountant. On a weekly basis. And like this is the only person who comes to see him. They're saying that it's to keep track of what they make weekly, but I'm pretty sure there's other shenanigans going on. Although that might just be me,
Projecting.
wishful thinking. Anyway, they also have a Muron vault, which I can't hack that on my best day, because that thing is impenetrable, and there's only 2 ways to open it. And the way that we're going to want to go with is probably going to be to secure that accountant, and yeah, because it's 2 passwords, and it's going to involve 2 different people's eyes. They need to be alive, so we can't just murder them and pluck out their eyeballs, which was my first thought. They've got there's a voice password, Or we have the MVC where we can change the password, but you have to use that within 24 hours, or you're fucked because it goes away. Yeah, it's oh, and if we brute force it, alarms will go off, turrets will shoot us, and also there will be toxic gas to kill many massive elements. So no brute forcing it, unfortunately. We cannot, in fact, have Dax catapult their mace into the vault because that will just die.
Well, can you get us on the whitelist?
You can try to do that, but I needed to share this with you because the tea was scalding. Yeah, dude, that guy would be so pissed off if he found any of this shit. Can I, oh my god, while I'm here, can I like boost their encryption so that like their higher up dude can find it less easily? Just, because it's gonna take a while for us to, and like I'm new here into like the little system, and I'm really worried that they're gonna notice that I just got into it by, yeah.
This is like a free form that you just ended up running across. Like, there's nothing that blocks you from going here or to like seeing all the posts. It's just that like nobody knows this website because it's like some random string of like characters and like numbers and all of this other like random stuff that you just happen to run across from like a message intercepting between like two different guardsmen.
Right. Okay. In that case, they've probably been doing this long enough that that's safe.
There's like a full like probably 2 years of posts, and it's thousands of posts of them just like talking just the maddest shit about all of the people who work there.
I'm gonna need to pour more tea. Yeah. I'm freaking out. Okay, so. Is there any talk about the whitelist by any chance on this forum?
So, like MVC they don't do whitelists on anything because they only want to have the least amount of entry points, which means password, either their own MVC password that changes every 24 hours, or you have to have the voice password and the retinal scan. So there is only 2 ways to enter this vault. Now, down below with an AI mesh, a whitelist is what is needed for them to basically allow people to go through the AI mesh. So effectively, like if you're not on the whitelist of the AI mesh, you will instantly die because it will just disintegrate you down to the biological level.
Right. Okay. So I can move my... Sorry. My brain hurts from all the information I got thrown at me. Can I look into how, like, the process for how to add somebody to the whitelist in their data, whatever's?
Yeah, you can give me like a hack to see if you can get like, because effectively what's going to happen before you roll, what's going to happen is that what I would say would be like a dangerous roll. So it is going to be a DC that is high, and if you fail it by too much, they will know.
Okay.
Yeah. So you might want to wait until you get like the other information first, and then determine like do we want to go down this path.
Yeah. Okay. So Dax is the one who mentioned the whitelist earlier. So I'm gonna sort of reread through this like shit talking thing real quick before I'm like, you know what, Dax, I'm gonna wait on that whitelist until we have more info because I got a bad feeling about this. About me trying to find that situation. So. But yeah.
All right, perfect. So, Akai finds just a shit ton of information. I'm gonna say are after Akai super excited, like telling the captain like all the stuff that they just found. Our camera starts to like zoom out, go down the street, go down many different alleyways, many different which ways to find a very empty but not empty alleyway as we follow our little friend Click as he
Special
is
guy.
trying to find pieces of glass,
Yeah.
as well as like discovering the surrounding area.
Yeah.
So, Click, why don't you give me first? Let's do a like a stealth check.
Okay, yeah. I figured I'd have to do that. Okay, and that is. Oh no!
Perfect. So yeah, you go off. You're kind of like exploring through the area. Give me a investigation.
Okay.
This is going to be again at disadvantage.
Okay.
Nice. All right, and then last but not least, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. Is this normal?
Yeah, normal.
Okay. So, yeah, I went through all of them here. Advantage, disadvantage, now normal.
Yeah.
Okay, and then perception, you said?
Yeah, perception.
Hey!
Nice. Well, I'm gonna say perception was probably the more important one of these. Okay, so a couple of things happen. So as you're kind of walking through, you realize that you find like another piece of what you think is like, reflective enough glass where you'll be able to like, set it up on something and the lights will probably affect it. As you're walking through, you notice two things. One, what building are you going to actually? I should ask that first. So around you are like a few two-story buildings. From there, they go vastly higher. Mostly what you see is about 10 to 15-story buildings with that singular 25-story building that is directly across the street from them. Or sorry, not directly across the street. It's like 2 blocks away down.
What I plan on doing is I want to just head that way, and I want to keep a 1-block buffer. So I plan on kind of going around. So I'm not really worried too much about the front main entrance because I know that's fucking, we're not dealing with that shit. So basically, like, buildings here, and then the street, and another building. I want to go like have a block kind of in between that.
Okay.
I'll try and look down the alleys, and if the buildings are the ones right next to it are taller, correct?
Yeah, so right
Okay.
next to it, they kind of vary in size all the way through. Like I said, the 2-story buildings are like so rare because like they just didn't really build these here. Instead, they focused on like as high as they could possibly go without falling. And so primarily what you're saying is like 15-story tall buildings with that singular 25-story building. And that one's like, the buildings here, and then you have like across the street and then an additional street. So really it's like 1 block in between.
Okay.
And then that building is 25 stories tall.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to go like in the street next to the building, but 1 block over all the way around. And like every time I can get a view of the building, I want to look for anything I can see, but I don't want to get too close because I hear you can get shot at.
Very true.
So yeah.
So yeah, as you're kind of like walking around, you're like, discovering a little bit more about this place. You are walking your way through. You see like each of these buildings. You can see that like some of these are open. Obviously are not like boarded up. Other ones are completely barred off to like have nobody inside. Some of them even have writing on them that says like, like disease or like big like white writing saying like that do not come in here. There is like hazardous material. A lot of it they have like the biohazard sign, that kind of stuff. as you're walking through, you see all of this stuff. You look over and you see that there are people, and they can see you, and they kind of like peer through. You can see them. They kind of
Oh,
peer through. It looks like somebody who has been here for a while. As soon as you like make that eye contact with them, it's like you see them and you're like, huh? They close their blinds very quickly. Um, and you see like them like even stepping away from it as that like dark shadow that's there like morphs into the
uh-huh.
background. And then they like disappear from sight. You kind of continue on your way down, and you start to hear some like rumbling noise.
Can I identify the noise?
Yeah, give me another perception check.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay. Not as good, but
So you can tell where it's coming from.
okay.
You know that it's like a couple of buildings down from you. It's one of these like two-story buildings. What you feel in the floor is a rhythmic like thudding. So it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just over and over again. But you can feel it, like the vibration, even where you're at, like in the floor.
So, how far away am I at like my patrol area, like 1 block away from the big one, the
Yeah, you're
fortress?
you're like right about that, like 1 block away from the big one.
Okay, so this like, I'm assuming like okay, fortress here, me, the way I came from. So is it behind me, to the side, or towards the fortress?
So it's away, like the fortress would be like over to your right.
Okay.
Then in front of you is like the 25-story tall
Uh
building.
huh.
Slightly past that is a two-story building, and that's where you're hearing it come from.
So
So
rhythmic.
it's like, yes,
Okay.
like a ways in front of you, but you can feel it in the floor, the thud of 1, 2, 3, 4.
And can I assume it's like machinery or
Maybe.
okay?
It's hard
Um,
to like get that from this far away.
so in my planned route, am I going to be going towards it? And
Yeah.
okay, am I aware enough to know like? Am I smart enough to know that they saw me? We made eye contact and they closed up. Am I smart enough to recognize that my stealth is not as good as I think it is?
There are very few and far between of people that can see click, but it does happen.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine.
So,
I'm fine.
yeah,
I got
more
this.
than likely, it's like that person just like, they were having to look at you at the right spot, and
Yeah,
you
coincidence.
reflected to them somehow,
Yeah,
right?
no worries. Okay, so I am. Okay, so I'm gonna be a bit more cautious because this is I don't know what the noise is. I'm trying to keep it, so I'm gonna be cautiously, basically moving forward. I'm not gonna be I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
slow
so
my pace a bit.
as you start to get a little bit closer, you
Uh.
can hear this like rhythm thudding. And instead of like the 1, 2, 3, 4, what you hear is you can hear the bass of music.
Oh. If only Kai was here. I know they like the music. So,
Dad.
am I? Am I at the building yet, or I'm
Yeah,
still?
you're at like the 25-story building, and
Okay.
you can now like tell that like just a little bit further ahead of you, a two-story building is supplying this music.
Do I can see the building?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any like? I'm gonna look for subtle marks, like any symbols or anything like a secret club or something. You know, I'm just gonna kind of
Yeah.
look for anything that's kind of out of the
Yeah,
ordinary.
give me an
Like,
investigation.
okay,
Yeah. Click. You're not the best at finding clues.
no, I'm not.
You've had a hard time like finding stuff around here, and you know you've always been helpful. You know, you've always taken the very like cautious approach.
Mhm.
As you're kind of like looking around, you see this what looks like some symbol, like almost in like Greece, right? Like
Okay.
somebody had like taken like a rag of like the
Okay.
drip and like marked this building in like a particular fashion.
Okay.
And as you're looking at it, you kind of like look over and you realize that on the other side of the street there's the same kind of mark, but it's upside down. And you're like, what is that? You're like, look at that one. You look at the other one. You look at that one. And then as you're staring forward, trying to figure this out, you hear a voice behind you. And it says, hey kid, what are you doing on our street? And that's where we're going to stop.
Oh fuck! I knew it! I knew I was gonna die!
No.
I love it! I love it! Because I'm gonna stealth at 10. Nobody can see me!
Nobody can see
I
you.
also
All right.
love that they called you kid because you're small.
I'm 2.5 feet tall, yeah!
All right. Well, hey, thank you everybody for
Maybe they'll go easy on
watching.
you.
This was Eta Carinae.
Yep.
We play again in another 2
Yep.
weeks.
Yep.
Thank you for following along, and I hope you guys have a safe journey.
Yeah. Oh, and also, please tune in like I'm a fucking dinosaur here. On Sunday.
Let's get into our programming.
Yeah, dial it in there. Okay. Sir is back. Here, you do it. So I've already made a fool of myself just in a couple seconds, so go for it.
Hey guys, we appreciate you watching tonight's wonderful episode of Eta Carinae. We hope you guys tune in next time, and please don't forget to check out our episode on Sunday. We hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great night, morning, afternoon, wherever it is that you are. See ya.
Bye,
See ya.
everybody.
Bye.